John Maynard Keynes, the economist, said in the long run, we're all dead. And, the job for policymakers and politicians, I think, is to deal with what's happening right now with a view to the long run. And so if we have a massive and material difference in hiring, in entry-level coding, paralegals, you could go down a list of a lot of knowledge work professions.
Customer service, I'm driving.
Some of which, by the way, coding in particular, those are job categories that policymakers actually pushed people into a generation ago.
We talked about
the juxtaposition of, the sad potential story of getting fed the rhetoric of learn to code, being maybe, in your 40s, 50s, and you're making the effort. Like, I actually do want to pursue something new, get educated around this new thing, try to pursue this new career. And then you're a few years into it, and now this is happening.
Right. But here's the thing to think about. We don't really know exactly what the level of disruption will be, right? And we don't really know exactly what the level of value will be that it creates. But those two things we can more or less assume are going to travel together. In other words, a world where the AI doesn't do as much as we thought it did is also one in which it probably doesn't disrupt as many jobs as we fear it might. And to put the other case, a world in which it is disrupting jobs left, right, and center means it is doing a huge amount of work that used to be impossible for a machine to achieve.
Yeah.
And if that's true, that means generally, for somebody, it's creating a huge amount of value. The question then becomes, who gets that, right? Because I believe AI can lead to one of two results. It can either be, for most people, a shorter work week and more money in your pocket than before, or it can be even more ridiculous concentrations of wealth and power than we already have. And what we already have, by the way, is pretty extreme. Like, it's not just something that we look at the news about some of these really wealthy people and say, oh gosh, that's really unequal. This is historically pretty extreme.
Like 1929 levels of wealth inequality.
Yeah, in fact, it's rare for a republic, a democratic system, to hit this level of inequality and survive. Like when the Roman Empire, when the Roman Republic was hitting this level of inequality, that's about the time it stopped being a republic and started being an empire.
Well, we've been talking about this. The historical context of this level of wealth inequality is like it dissolves society.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, we're not quite at like pre-revolutionary France level, but like that's kind of the next stop if we don't do something. Yeah. But this is the irony, right? If you appropriately capture some of the value of what AI might generate and you return it to the people, and I don't think that's confiscation. I think that's participation because, again, the American taxpayer literally invented the internet.